D-Day. The Allied armies landed in occupied France. For the first time in 4 years of conflict, the nation felt optimistic, praying that this was the beginning of the end of the Nazi regime, the end of Adolf Hitler. But Hitler himself was miles from the fighting, tucked away in the mountains of southeast Germany in a boat hole called the Berghof. This was his holiday retreat before the war and his favored military headquarters since. At the Berghof, Hitler thought he was safe, untouchable, but Hitler was wrong. Within a few days, he would become the target of Operation Foxley. Operation Foxley was an assassination plan that could have ended the war early and saved millions of lives. It could have changed the course of history. This is the story of that plan. My plan to kill Hitler. During the war, I went by the codename LBX. I was a staff officer in the Special Operations Executive, the S.O.E, created for so-called irregular warfare, and officially it didn't exist. I worked for X Section, briefed for action in Germany, but I never saw action. My war was fought behind a desk, one of the backroom boys.
It was a secret army. And it was quite an army too. I think globally, we had 1 million operatives globally. The manifesto was to train men and women to be an agent in irregular warfare for possible operations overseas. It was a broad canvas, and the jigsaws were never revealed to people, but that was the broad canvas.
The corridors of S.O.E were buzzing with rumor. An intelligence report had come in from our office in Algiers claiming Hitler was in a French chateau near Perpignan which could be bombed. The chiefs of staff were asked for their approval. Churchill was asked to give his authority. The go-ahead was given. But Hitler wasn't in France. He was safe in the Berghof. Yet now the question was being asked, should S.O.E have a definite plan to kill Hitler? A memo went out calling a Security Council meeting with the senior players in S.O.E. Oh, and Rachel Cathcart, a junior officer from the Secret Intelligence Service, S.I.S, who liked to think she was one step ahead of the game. Staff officers were not invited.
Miss Cathcart. What's happening?
Did you read the memo?
What memo? Of course I've read the memo.
Well, as we, most of us anticipated, the plan to kill Hitler while on holiday in France turned out to be utter nonsense. However,
The general was one of the people who wrote the rules of S.O.E, a champion of irregular warfare.
The important thing is that the authority to do it was granted. Because of that, the time has definitely come for the liquidation of Hitler to be given some priority.
I believe Hitler's military strategy is proving so disastrous. If he were assassinated, then, in my opinion, the German conduct of the war would improve considerably.
The Foreign Secretary said that, in his opinion, Hitler's removal would shorten the war considerably.
I agree with that. As long as Hitler is there, the war will continue.
But surely it's better to keep him there until Germany follows him to certain defeat.
Colonel Thornley was my immediate boss and skeptical about assassination.
Germany is already at the point of certain defeat, and it can only be hastened if Hitler is done away with.
Vice Marshal Ritchie was cut from the same cloth as Gubbins.
The fact is that Hitler's assassination has been dealt with on a very ad hoc basis. Now, I'm not suggesting that we decide today whether he should or should not be killed, but I would like us to decide on forming a group that can study all available intelligence and come up with a workable plan. So, for that to be achieved, I would like Thornley and an officer from X section to start work immediately. I will also talk to C about a representative from S.I.S, providing them assistance. That way all interests can be protected and the planning of Operation Foxley may proceed.
What happened?
I'm still waiting.
Once an idea was approved, a staff officer was commissioned to come up with a blueprint. I was the one who was asked, "How do you kill Hitler?" Coming up with any plan is like a jigsaw, and despite its magnitude, this was no different. Start at the edges and work towards the center to build up the picture. How many ways are there to kill a man? How many ways to assassinate a leader? Hitler. The key thing was not to get overawed. Just begin the jigsaw.